It's 2 a.m. It's far too late for this. I've just got back from a movie. It's time for another Ticket Stub review. Tonight, I saw The Fifth Estate, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and another guy we don't care about who's actually the main character. Now, for those of you who have put little to no effort into researching this movie like I did, the movie isn't really about Julian Assange or WikiLeaks specifically. It's more about the people affected by it. Mainly the guy who wrote the book about WikiLeaks that Julian Assange says is a book of lies. I didn't do any research into this movie beforehand, except I read Julian Assange's Wikipedia entry, and I started to try to read the Wikipedia entry on WikiLeaks. Let's just put it like this. At the top of the WikiLeaks entry, there's a note that says, "This article is too long." Even the giant article on the government shutdown doesn't have that. For those of you who've seen the government shutdown article, that's a little scary. This video is not going to have my personal opinion on, Manning. This video is not going to have my personal opinion on whistleblowers, or Snowden, or WikiLeaks, or Assange himself. This is just me talking about the movie, so let's just get that out of the way right now. Now, would I say you need to go see The Fifth Estate? No. The Fifth Estate is not a movie where I will grab you by the lapels and say, go watch this movie. It's not going to change your life. Why? Because it's about events that happened 3 years ago. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be a couple spoilers in this video, but they're going to be in a few minutes, and I'll give you a way to skip that, so don't worry. But right now, we're just going to talk about this. So, in 2010, WikiLeaks released the Afghan war tapes. These things were kind of big, so if you missed out on that, you shouldn't even care about the movie, because if you missed out on the cables and the, Apache helicopter tape, where were you? So Assange created WikiLeaks, yada yada yada. The movie, I will say this, the movie doesn't try to make a hero or a villain out of Assange, but at the same time, I feel like the movie could have been done better. Because since it's being told from the perspective of Danny, the guy that wrote the book about WikiLeaks, who became Assange's, I guess, right-hand man by the way the movie portrays him, it just it does what I've seen happen a lot with films these days, and I really don't mean to be offensive when I say this, but it seems like whenever we have a character who's like a hacker, or, I don't want to say sociopath, but they want the audience to not hate him, but he has to do some dickish things. They start portraying him as either an abused person or someone who is pseudo-autistic. And Assange is certainly portrayed like that in this. I'm not saying he isn't pseudo-autistic. I'm not saying he wasn't abused because of that whole cult thing that we all know and love about him. But there's some things in this movie that just make no sense, especially from... I'm a person whose exposure to Julian Assange was Bill Hader's skits about him on Saturday Night Live during the peak of the Afghan war tapes and all that. Outside of that, even I felt there's a scene near the beginning of the movie where Assange is making this huge sweeping gesture on top of a church to show Danny why he should be an integral part of WikiLeaks. And then going from having just met the guy several hours prior to telling he straight up tells him, I was part of a cult. This cult did this, and this bad things to me. That is why my hair is white. Now, there's a running gag to the movie that makes him almost like the Joker, where he makes different jokes about something scaring him, and that's what made his hair white. Julian Assange pours one of the more integral parts of his life out in about 45 seconds. I would have counted if I known it was coming, because this is pretty big. It made me stop watching the movie, and it made me start analyzing the movie. That's not fun. When you go to sit down and watch a movie to enjoy it, and then, something just, hits that critic button in the back of your head, and you're like, crap. I would say, if you found The Fifth Estate on DVD, it's a fun movie to watch. If you're a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, I would suggest watching it. If you want to see Peter Capaldi, and if you're a Doctor Who fan who wants your Peter Capaldi fix, he's in it, and he does a good job, too.